Ray is back in his hollow body plank position, so shoulders stacked over elbow and wrist. We're pulling those shoulder blades apart, squeezing the glutes, tucking the tailbone, getting those heels together, legs are locked out nice and straight. From here, what you can start to do is before you start to even think about trying to touch your shoulders with your hands, you can just start to shift your body weight side to side. So with as little movement through your middle as possible. So we're keeping hips and shoulders squared to the ground. And from here, if you've got really good control through your midline, then you can start to bring one hand up at a time to touch your shoulder. Now you can bring your hand up to touch your shoulder, the same shoulder, or you can touch opposite shoulders. So you can bring that hand across and touch the shoulder, but making sure that we're not doing any excessive movement through the midline, through the hip. So this is an awesome progression for the handstand walk. Learning how to shift your body weight from one hand to another. The handstand walk is pretty much a one-handed handstand for a split second every time you pick up your hand. So being able to build confidence, body awareness, good muscle memory, control throughout the body is really important for that. So this is where it starts.
Bye, Nicole.
See ya.
So a couple things to keep in mind here, guys. Number one, we want to keep our hollow position as tight as possible. So toes pointed, knees locked out, butt squeezed, heels together, ribs down, and pushing away through shoulder and scap. We want to block through shoulder and scap and the elbows, focusing on straight arm strength and also keeping as tight as possible. This is going to transfer over to handstands, handstand walking, holding a barbell over your head, doing pull-ups, basically anything. You should be able to maintain hollow body position in all of that stuff.
All right, so what Ray's about to do is get into a hollow body plank position. And then partner number two is going to think of this as a sumo deadlift. So we're keeping our shoulders down, pulled back in good tension, knees are tracking, and we're hinging from the waist as we go to pull the feet off the floor. Now here, what I'm gonna do is release one hand. Now his job here is to keep both feet as close together as possible with as little deviation from that position, releasing one leg at a time. And so what this is doing is bringing a lot of awareness to keep your heels and your feet nice and tight all the way through.
That was hard.
All right, y'all, so have fun with this. This is a great assessment for seeing where you're at in core and your posterior chain strength and that brain and body connection from head to toe.
All right, so what we have here is a set of boxes set up so that they're wide enough so that Nicole can put her hands down into the setup position. In a class setting, you might want to set up lots of boxes so you have more distance to travel, but for today's demo, we're just going to have 4 boxes here. So Nicole's going to start by putting her hands on the floor, and then she's going to put her toes up on the boxes, pointing her toes away towards the back. From here, she's just going to walk, keeping her hips stacked over her hands. Beautiful. Yes. So this is just another cool variation that you can use to simulate handstand walking, but taking off a little bit of load and removing the whole balancing component. So try to keep your hips as stacked over your hands as possible and think about dragging your feet across the box.
All right, so Ray is going to go ahead and do a wall walk. To get set, we're going to bring belly button to the wall, nose to the wall, get those arms locked out and find our hollow. We're going to squeeze our heels together, make sure we've got a nice stacked line all the way from our toe down to our palm. From here, he's going to take a step or two out and away. I'm going to be here to help assist him put his feet back to the wall. He's going to take a step or two back in. So the better and more comfortable and confident he gets at this, the further out I can go and the further he can start to walk his hands out. All right, so the cool thing with this is that as you get more comfortable, more confident with walking on your hands, the more challenging you can make this just by simply having your partner take a step or two back each time and walking a little bit further each time, seeing how far out you can walk. The most challenging part is actually just getting off the wall initially, and that is also really cool because it's pretty much simulating exactly what it should feel like when you get up on top of your hands away from the wall. So you're having to shift your weight out towards your fingertips and allow your body to slightly fall forward in a controlled fashion.
So just a couple quick things as you're doing these handstand walks. Try to keep in mind all the things that we've talked about, using your hands, fingers spread wide, pushing through the floor to help with your balance, keeping your elbows locked out, blocking through shoulder and scap, keeping your core nice and tight, squeezing your butt, keeping your heels together, pointing your toes, remembering that tighter is lighter. So if you can control everything in the middle, the balancing part and the walking is gonna be a whole lot easier and a whole lot easier to control.